Okay, my dad. Right. Let's progress some more. I can master these fiendish contraptions, and so can I. Heading out for a stroll. The scholar himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphenor, of all people worrying about his reputation, and at our alma mater no less, will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. It feels like only yesterday that I first walked through these doors. See that sculptured picture above the entrance? That's the mark of Thalic the Scholar, bearer of the waters of knowledge. It's no exaggeration to say that Charlene itself is an enormous shrine to him, and this is especially noticeable here in the studium. Here it is, Phenomenon. While I expect you to make note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the centre of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of etheriological phenomena, hence the name. Though, with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the Sixth Astral Era, Phenomenon was decreed to complete the studium officially opened as a place of learning. And with a long storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in atheology, the arcane, the occult, astronomy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Charlane's foremost educational institute. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed. I've been long since lost track of how many times he's recited that same foppish speech, such is his undying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium, granted with highest honours in magical arts and ethology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're both equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphen has actually entered half a year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honours, and I am certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, we have ever been in the shadow. If nothing else, just remember, this is where the legend of Alphinu the Levianer began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know that better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphinu, and with a bit of luck it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Monteghini. Other faculty tends to be frequent at our offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. That was Alphinu Levier, wasn't it? The Alphinu Levier? And he's with his sister and Master Valdesion's granddaughter? Oh, this can only mean one thing. An event of epic shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word! Oh, sorry. You said you're looking for a scholar, yes? Knowing him, Miss Alipo should have a better idea. Look, there's an Alipo here as well. What could warrant the sudden return of so many esteemed alumni? Is there truth to the rumours? I must get to the bottom of this. Oh, we've certainly kissed the ruckus. Are you lost? Wander off in the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. Orientation is in order. Ahem. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studio? That's right, books! And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else! That's what we deal with here at the Searchers' Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Piazza this, tongue of giant toad that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. I've tracked down many miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. So, what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner? Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for the scholar. I'm afraid that we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh! You mean him? He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many very inexpensive curios, not to mention alarmingly frequent incidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. And time has taken me to tell you all this, the scholar has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Finding a worthy gleaner is tougher than I thought. Maybe I'm not suited for this line of work. All this pressure is going to be the end of me. Oh, I hope I find someone who will help soon. Oh dear. Am I ever going to find a craftsman for the professor? Oh gods, surely they must be spared. Oh dear, if only he were around to help me. How am I supposed to approach any gleaners for help when the subject of our research remains undecided? Honestly, that man. Ah, you look like a level-headed student. Yes, the scholar was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. It's strange seeing Maker's Meet so empty. People usually treat it as a common room. We're researching properties lately. I've been reading over the writings of Master Louis in hopes of gleaning some heretofore untold knowledge. Unsurprisingly, the scholar is not in an office. I did, however, speak with one student who saw him not too long ago. He can't have gone far. It is quite rare to meet in associates with curious managers. Classes are not currently in session, but when they are, this place is filled with sounds of students exchanging ideas and soaking up new knowledge. But that would affect the theory of conductivity. You don't look like a student. This isn't learner's meet. Learners Meet. This public lecture hall and phenomenon is open to student pupils and Charlotte citizens alike. When prominent professors are scheduled to take the lectern, crowds of aspiring academics and established scholars often fill the room to capacity.
Ah, I remember you.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that Inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the Annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louis in a less dour setting. but it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the Forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
Yay.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Body?
Yes, very good. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it.
Welcome to the... Welcome to the high diadem?
Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
Tempering?
The 7th Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today. Thought, or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
You've been granted one phenomenon. If you were a game, Kialepo would put your attitude to good use. Side quests. While Scholar Montague is best known for the role as head of the studium, he is said to be one of the finest mages Charlene has ever produced. Having been seen for the ease at which he weaves extraordinarily complex and powerful magics, I have no reason to doubt the claim. Some of my earliest memories are of Scholar Montague. Actually, he was a close friend of our grandfather. He would come for tea and amaze us with his tricks, much like his demonstration with the paper and ink. He's a huge part of why I wanted to enter the studium in the first place. Cryo is still digesting a rather hefty portion of food for thought. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the forum's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I feel his friendship and support will be a great boon in the days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you can better acquaint yourselves with Ki Aliapu, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. Ki Aliapu is in need of a helping hand. It's you. You're the one the scholar was telling us about. Elita, yes? Brilliant! Just the woman I was hoping to see. As I'm sure you're aware, the studium is the most prestigious educational institute in all of Charlene. As such, we make a point of only working with the best educators and students. The cleaners we employ are also held to the same high standards, of course, which is perhaps why it's been so difficult to find the assistance we need of late. Surely you understand the trouble of finding competent and capable help. That you've come here suggests you're willing to lend a hand, no? I'm certain you would have much to gain from working with us. If so, do let me know should you commit to lending a hand to services in the studium. I should warn you, however, there is much I must explain to you ere you begin. So please, be certain you have sufficient time to spare. Now, allow me to explain our work here. Professors and students from many faculties gather and searchers meet in order to do business with and recruit reputable individuals such as yourself. Allow me to briefly introduce those here present. Here we have Boric, from the Faculty of Ethology, who works as assistant to one Master Rurusha and is currently seeking a skilled metal worker to help restore an ancient relic. Then there's Jude, who belongs to the Faculty of Astronomy. He seems to be looking for an artisan able to work with leather, cloth or wood, but he wouldn't tell me much more than that. He's awfully shy, you see. Next we have Debroy, a student studying in the Faculty of Medicine. I'm fairly sure she's carrying out research under supervision of Professor Galabosch. In any case, I hear she's after someone who knows a thing or two about medicine and nutrition. And here's Hinagashi, a faculty of anthropology. She told me she's searching for botanists and miners at present. By the sounds of it, she and Professor Tankin are dealing with a formidable task. Last but not least is Professor Tlaktia, an associate professor in the Faculty of Ethology. I heard he's in need of a fisher to help him conduct research for his thesis. Unfortunately, things do not seem to be progressing well for him at the moment. I'd say those 5 are the ones most in need of supplementary aid. I'll leave it to your discretion as to who you choose to help, although be warned, academics can be something of an odd bunch. Just be sure not to leave anyone in the lurch after you've agreed to help them. Yay! I will leave those well alone just now, because those are crafter galleries or ones. Ah, level 80 quests. It's like a fever slayer, Grandma mumbled to herself. Oh, my love, my light, where have you gone? I am nothing without you. Oh, I didn't see you there. Absorbed as I am in my search, I've lost track of my mammoth. You see, a key asset for my research into the many mysteries of ether. I must have given her an erogenous command, or perhaps even jilted her. She is gifted with a sensitive heart, you know. In any case, it has been some time since she has left for her task. Please, can you assist me? Oh, thank you, thank you. I sent her an errand near the last stand, so you would do well to begin your search there. Her aura is unmistakable. Keep an eye out for her elegant figure and imperious demeanour. As a man seeks eager eyes. You there! From a distance in exotic lands, yes? I require a fresh perspective for the next step in my research, if you have a few moments to spare. Do not worry, nothing too complex will be required of you. I am planning an introductory class which will educate younglings on the practical applications of etheric energy, and I seek opinions on the lesson plan. With any luck, it shall strike a spark, which ignites lifelong love of learning and curiosity. Considering my lofty goals, I welcome honest feedback, even if it isn't entirely positive. Will you help? Thank you, my eager student. Together I dare say we are building the future. Pray visit my colleague in tranquility, a burly Rogadin fellow. His imposing frame belays a brilliant mind. The student appears to be deep in thought. Ah, you look like the sort who's out and about, performing various feats of dare and do and so forth. Why, the scent of the outdoors is practically wafting from you. Perhaps you've heard of the competition being held in the city. Designs from across the region will submit designs for academic uniforms, and the winner will be worn by none other than the members of the forum. The chosen designer becomes exalted among their peers. Even a lonely student can have their name said in hushed whispers across the studio. I would have such fame for myself. I believe the concept may be just the thing to help me win it. I have an image in my mind of a rustic scholar, one who enjoys the open air of wilderness as much as the musty air of library stacks. In fact, I have already prepared an initial design that looks to fit your frame perfectly. Would you try it on for me, that I might see that if it conveys the message I have in mind? Splendid, splendid. Well then, we should find an area where you will be free to move as you please. I believe tranquility should be the locale we require. Come, come. You've seen this creature before and your memories of it are not pleasant. Ah, no, it's a beaver! The timid student saw anything in front of him with intense curiosity. By the looks of you, you are more inclined to venture than the average person, yes? Apologies for the imposition. But could you tell me if you've come across a creature such as the one before me on your journeys? Oh my, there it goes! I had no idea that it could move so quickly! Apologies for giving you a fright. That thing was recently delivered to the door of my professor, although the reason why yet eludes us. Perhaps one of the greeners sent it to us, thinking it would make a suitable research project. I have never seen the likes of it, but it made an awful mess of our faculties. I had hoped the fresh air might calm it down, but... That's a beaver, and it will grow quickly. A beaver? I've never heard of such an animal. Must be a rare specimen indeed. And I let it escape? If a word of my oversight lays out, my professor will tan my hide. I may even be forced to delay my studies by a whole year. I must find that creature at once. We need to cover as much ground as possible. Could you aid me in finding it before this becomes a catastrophe? Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Well then, it appears to have run off towards Arkan's design. I wish you good luck in the search. If I were to be seen popping my head into bushes and under benches, others would start asking questions, best assured I do my part, but I must be discreet about it. You, on the other hand, should head to Arkan's design. 2 sets of eyes are better than one, I say. Are you actually going to look around? Ah, you must be the help pessimists sent word about. Are you ready to begin your education? Firstly, observe the object next to me. No mere rock. It is an experimental asparagus apparatus designed to simulate the movement of ether through the environment. Through it, I intend to demonstrate how crystals are formed. Now, the next order of the day is to use this explosive to destroy the device. Do not be afraid. Your extremities are safe, I assure you. Go on, use that explosive to destroy the device. Do not worry, they are so weak that even the child should be safe. Should be. apparently powerful enough to destroy rocks, but safe enough for a child to use. Very good, very good. Did you enjoy yourself, little one? Now you have your very own crystal. Ether flows all around us, an invisible energy that nourishes all things. When a physical object so suffused with ether is destroyed, it releases the energy contained within it into its surroundings. Some returns to the environment, but some remains in the physical realm. Thus are crystals formed. In simple terms, they are physical manifestation of ether, frozen in time. Simple enough to understand, yes? I've heard those words before, but never in that order. Ah, is that so? Any Charlene young'un could recite those facts from memory. However, I may not always have the luxury of teaching such cultivated minds, as today has demonstrated. Yes, explanations, so thorough that even the unlearned would have no trouble understanding them. Thank you for your frank opinion. Sometimes an outside point of view can illuminate otherwise unseen faults. You have given us much to consider. As for the matter of my conversation, my colleague is in charge of that. Please return to him to receive it. This appears to be a suitable spot, spacious, sunlight. Now try on the robes for size, although I'm somewhat certain they'll fit perfectly. However, I'd like to see how easy it is to perform feats of heroism, swinging your weapon up and down, grinning devilishly, things like that. Show me that battle stance you adventurers are so famous for. You will change into the professional robes temporarily. You must stay clothed in the robes in order to progress. If the robes are removed or you wish to wear them no longer, speak to the Lalabelle student. Ah, yes. You look ready for a grand adventure under the sun. I believe these robes shall be well suited to both the lectern and the open fields. Now I'd like to test the fabric's breathability. Work up a bit of a sweat for me, won't you? A friend of mine needs a delivery done, and who better than you to do it? Please bring this crate to Kekemoto at the confluence. It's a bit of a trek, but you look up to the task. You like them to wear them as long as you like. Oh, a member of the forum here? I mean, welcome to my humble laboratory. What do you need, madame? Oh, you gave me quite the fright. You've been more aware of the effect that robes like that have on people here, students and professors alike. Of course, I'll accept these crystals most gladly. That being said, pray inform the student who gave them to you that they should do their own work from now on, regardless of what experiment she may be conducting. Grab that big crest under there. There's an ash-covered envelope here. It's a quest. Aww. Welcome back, my adventurous assistant. I take it the crystals were delivered without incident? I see. Kikamoto can scarcely get through a single conversation without giving her unwanted advice. No matter, when my robes are chosen, I wager she'll treat me with the respect I deserve. You don't appear to be flushed, so I take it the robes were light enough to allow you to somewhat physically taxing duties. However, I would like to examine them closer for any signs of wear. Could you return them to me? Thank you. My masterpiece draws one step closer to perfection. Functionally, it appears that I'm on the right track. Now I must refine the design so that when members of the forum behold it, they can think of nothing else but to wear them for years to come. Of course, I didn't mean to leave your climb house empty after all this. Return to where we first met and I shall bring your reward. Now I can pick up this letter. We spy a blackened envelope on the floor of Archon's design. Spy an envelope on the ground covered in ash. Upon closer inspection, you realize the ash spells out a message. To the kind soul who finds this missive, Pray deliver this letter unto the unassuming Makoti scholar, who can usually be found sequestered in a quiet corner of the confluence. Many thanks. Yes, you were looking for me? I suspect I spend too much time in this corner of the confluence, if someone I've never met knows to find me here. The message written on this envelope indicates it's meant to be delivered to the confluence. A letter? If you don't mind me asking, can you tell me where you found us? Of course, I see. The place where you chanced upon this is one of dubious prominence. Students are confined there as punishment for recalcitrant behaviour. I believe I recognise the hand which penned this message. The student is an acquaintance of mine, although that might be a rather generous term. Several days ago he was confined there for concocting an explosive alchemical compound and using it to surprise his teachers. His little stunt ended with half the gardens and teachers' quarters in ashes. And it seems he put more effort into writing a message to his would-be courier than his letter's recipient. Bring me food and a candle. I see. That bores loud. It serves him right being locked up in that room. As you can doubtless surmise, our relationship is somewhat strained, and I would apologise for making you party to it, but what's done is done, and now I would ask a favour of you myself. Could you procure a candle from Toffwib at the Agora? I shall prepare the food this fool has requested, as much as I would rather not. When you are done, pray meet me at the spot where you found the letter.